Sabira, the spotlight is on you. How are you?
Spotlight is on me. I'm good. I'm good, David. It was a great week and a long weekend, but I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing great. For folks who have no idea who we are and what we're talking about today, you want to go ahead and do a quick introduction?
Absolutely. I'm Sensei Sabira from sacredwarriorway.com, and that is my illustrious compadre, David Baer from Baer on Marketing. And we come on every Monday.
Every
Uh,
Monday or every other Monday.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we're really here to make digital easy for people. And that's really the bottom line. We're making digital really easy for online marketers. Today we're going to be talking specifically about list building. I am focusing on Kindle, and are going to be talking about list building kind of in general. And so I'm super, super excited. We had some changes happening in some big name companies in the online space this weekend. And so that's going to be kind of a great conversation piece. But that's who we are. That's what we're about. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Did I miss anything, David?
No, I think that's great. One of the things that we started last week talking about Kindle, and you raised the point that it's really good for building an email list, growing your traffic, and so I said, well, why don't we go dive a little bit deeper into that subject
Mm-hmm.
on a subsequent training. So. Um, Traffic and list building are the two areas that I think I want to cover, not just list building alone. And the idea here is that these are big topics that I think scare a lot of people. I know my clients who are thinking, first of all, they're thinking, list? What list? Why do I need to build a list, right? So when we finally get past that hurdle, um, we have to talk about how do you build a list. And there's the obvious ways, like getting people to your website and signing up for your list. And this, we're not going to talk about the mechanics of list building today. But what I do want to talk about is the fact that there are so many unlikely places or places that are not considered that are really effective at growing a list
Mm-hmm.
and driving traffic to whatever your stuff is, whether it's your website, whether it's your fan page, whether it's your 22 social app inside Facebook, wherever you're trying to drive traffic and wherever you're trying to collect people's contact information, having trouble speaking today, so you can follow up with them. Well, we're going to explore three uncommon, unlikely places, and we're going to start with Kindle books. So you want to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about how this works, and I'm going to actually bring us over to Amazon and see if we can find an example or two
Yeah.
of this.
That would be great. I think I want to back up a little bit
Yeah.
and talk about what is a list, because I know for the people who are kind of like me, I didn't even know what a list was. It was like, what do you mean a list? What am I, a list of what?
Mm-hmm.
So in the online space, when you talk about building a list, basically it is your names and emails that you collect of folks that click that button and say, yes, I want some information from you. Right.
And
So
this is not new to the online space. I mean, businesses have
no,
been
no, no. I mean to
collecting data,
people.
right?
I
Right.
mean, I mean, it's new to people who may be coming, especially from the market that I serve.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually when I sit down with a life coach or a minister, a reverend, someone from those spaces, the idea of collecting people's name and email never even crosses their mind,
Yeah.
and they don't typically understand the value of it. And when it does, when we bring it up, they're kind of uncomfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, because they're not about, they're not the ones making lead capture pages that say, buy my stuff, make money with my thing. So they're really thinking about relationships. So this whole idea of capturing names and emails on a list is, you'll go to a lot of their pages and there is no lead capture page at
Sure.
all.
Sure. So talk
So
about that word relationship, because I think relationship is integral
mhm.
to what a list is about.
It is, absolutely. It is a list enables you to have that conversation that builds the relationship. So if you're not actually welcoming people into the space that you've created online and basically giving them a place to sit kind of at the table,
Mhm.
you know, um, they've got nowhere to go and you have no way to have an ongoing conversation. But it's just like if you go to a wedding or something like that, you sign the guest book.
Yeah.
Pretty much is what they're doing. They're entering your space, they're signing your guest book so that you can get back in touch with them later to say thank you, to say I've got this or that coming up in the near future.
Right. By the
And
way,
because
that marriage didn't work out, but I got another one coming up soon, so stay tuned, and it'll be
that's
right.
right, that's right.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, that's kind of from our world the equivalent of how people would think about that. They
Yeah.
come into your whatever and they're going to sign the guest list. So we want people to sign the guest list even online so that you can basically let them know more about who you are and the solutions that you may have and what problems you offer solutions to.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
All
Hmm.
right. I feel a sneeze coming on.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You know
I
what we're
love
gonna
this
do?
real-time live streaming. It's just real. I love it.
Right. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually pull up Amazon, um, and while you're sort of talking, giving a little primer to how Amazon Kindle and lists relate. I'm gonna see if I can find a good example of what we're talking about here.
Hmm. Well, the beautiful thing about Amazon is it is a, not only a search engine, but it is I don't know if the correct word is a buy engine. You might want to correct me on my terminology there, but people go there to buy, and it's the biggest uh, marketplace on the internet, if I'm not mistaken. Is
Yep.
that right, David?
Well, it's in the U.S. in the
In
English
the
speaking world.
U.S.
I think that Alibaba may be bigger. I'm
Maybe
not sure.
bigger. Okay. Okay. Great. So, but I don't know of anybody who doesn't use Amazon. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, bless you.
So did my
Anybody.
mute button? Oh, you know what? I
It didn't work. No, we heard you
I
sneezing.
put my mute button on, but you know what? I don't have that mic actually assigned to this broadcast.
That's hilarious. Well, we're just real close and personal here.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Got a good relationship going. So, anyway, about Amazon, I don't know anybody that you can say Amazon to, and they're not going to think you're talking about a rainforest in South America. They're going to instantly think of this store. So, or this marketplace, should I
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
Okay, so the reason you want to, the reason it's so easy to build a list from Amazon, specifically using Kindle books, is because it's typically going to be one of the first places that people go online to purchase a book or to search for a book, to look for an author that they may be interested in. And so if you use your author page correctly, um, it's a great place for you to collect people's information because they're interested and they're buying. People go to Amazon to buy.
yeah, yeah.
So Kindle is a really great for that.
All right. So you talked specifically about an author page, and I'm now navigating over to Amazon. All right. Are you seeing that now?
I sure am.
Okay, great. So, um, I wanted to actually dive into another tactic here that I see quite a bit. So I pulled up Amazon Kindle, and I pulled up I don't know, the first thing that I saw that I thought we would likely find some examples in, and this is Business and Money Kindle books.
Yep.
And I just found this, so recommended for you. I am not sure why it's recommended for me, but I actually was just reading this book the other day, The Coaching Habit: Say Less, Ask More, and Change the Way You Lead Forever. So I was curious, was this author using Kindle strategically? And so I'm going to go ahead and click on inside because I'm actually curious whether this it may or may not be a good example of this. So here's the listing, right? And one thing that I think more and more people are becoming aware of, maybe not everybody is this little look inside option. You've seen that before?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So this is a really useful option for lots of different reasons. One thing that I like to use it for, and this is totally off the topic here, is doing research, right? Going out and looking at what other people have written about, how they've structured their content, all of that. And so I'm going to go ahead and click inside, and let's see, where are we here? Okay, oh, we're down. Okay, so here's some. It's not the entire book, but here's some of the book. And so here's the cover. And as you scroll down, you get the, I guess, the inside page, and then here's here it is. Okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you for downloading this ebook from Box of Crayons Press. We regularly release new videos, podcast episodes, downloads, and articles, all to help people who do less good work and more great work. Tap into these resources and join our mailing list by downloading our latest report here. Click here to sign up. I just clicked on a link inside of a book that I did not buy.
That's right.
But I was just looking at inside Amazon. What does it do? It brings me over to, it brings me over to their website. And actually, this is not a great. Oh, here. Okay. So here's an example, right? Test drive my book, and you can download the maybe a chapter of the book or something. But that's not actually that. This was a really bad example, because it tells you to click over to sign up, and you get over to their website. There's no place to sign up.
Right.
So, okay, lesson for everybody. Have a landing page that is specifically corresponding to the thing that they tell you you're going to do when you click. I even got over to this website, and there is no place to sign up.
No, they just give you more books to buy.
How strange.
More books to download, should I say.
Yeah. All right. So is that clear? Is that clear how that works?
Yeah,
right,
absolutely. And what I love about that, and this is what I love about, as I am delving more and more learning about Kindle, is that it's like a mini website for you. Specifically, when you look at your author page, once we get there, and I'm sure that Russell Brunson, I know he's got it,
Yeah, people
can't
so
this
see
is going
this
to be
right now. They're looking at you, but I was going to look inside here as well. Go ahead, keep going, and then we'll look in one other book to see if there's another example of it.
I'm sure Russell Brunson has it for sure. But when you think about, if you don't even have a website, but you can, write a small little, ebook and upload it here, they give you an author page that you can basically use as a website on this engine, this marketplace that people go there to buy. You can it'll have all of your pertinent information. You can put videos there we go. This is a mini website.
Yeah, nobody's looking at this yet. Let me click over there. Okay, so what we were just looking at, you mentioned him earlier, Russell Brunson. And look, it says Dan Kennedy is a co-author because he wrote the foreword. So two pretty famous names in the marketing world: Dan Kennedy, old school offline marketing, and Russell Brunson, online marketing. And so let's go ahead and click inside and see what he does. And so again, I just want to get up to the top here, and .com secrets, and let's see. Okay. So there's a couple of links to his publisher, dedication, a table of contents, and you know what? I'm not seeing what I was looking for.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Dan Kennedy has some links to his stuff. And then introduction, and yeah, again, there's actually in this one there are no links to an offer or a specific offer. I was going to say author. No links to a specific offer, which is interesting. All right, but let's go over and look at his page here. And so he has this one book basically, and he has this other thing that he sells. But interesting, there are no links.
And that's really unusual for Russell Brunson, because
Yeah, that's
this guy fills his stuff with
all right. I just saw
lead
Trust
capture.
Funnel from. Here's a good example. How to Write Copy That Sells by Ray Edwards.
Okay.
A classic copywriter authority, and I'm sure that we're going to find something inside his. All right, so again, I don't know why it starts at the end, but How to Write Copy That Sells. Lots and lots and lots of testimonials
Testimonials.
from many famous
Yeah.
people. It's the same publisher. Morgan James is a self-publishing. There you go. Claim
Yep.
your free membership. Retail value $197 when you click this link.
Mm-hmm.
No credit card required, but you do have to give us your email address.
That's
Right.
right.
All right. So there's an example there, and let's go take a look at the Ray Edwards page. And maybe they don't allow links on this page. Maybe that's it.
Um,
Who knows?
yeah, that would be interesting to see. I'll know more about that as I put mine together.
Yeah.
I'll be able
But
to report back.
but you can see, I mean, it was right inside that book.
Yeah.
Get this thing for free. And
Mm-hmm.
people are probably saying, "Oh, this is so cool! I didn't even have to buy the book, and I get this insider stuff, right?" Which is why I like phrasing, "Thank you for purchasing. By the
Mm-hmm.
way, here's something special for my customers, right?" And then you have
Mm-hmm.
this link there, and people go, "Ooh, I
Yeah.
got access to something cool."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I love that about that Kindle platform is it just really allows you to showcase yourself as an author. Kind of puts a little bit of space between that sales feeling.
Hmm.
It's just, oh, I'm buying a book. People it really kind of helps people drop their guard to actually receive information from you.
Right.
And then as a marketer, it allows you to um, insert links. You can put videos in Kindle, all these different ways that you would use in YouTube and say, click the link. You can do the same thing in your Kindle book and grow your list. So,
Excellent.
you
Yeah.
can throw a video in there that links to another place where you want them to go. That again just grows your list. So it's
All right.
awesome.
Well, you mentioned another platform that I was thinking we might cover here, which is YouTube. But let's skip over YouTube. Let's talk about another video service. And this is fresh in the news as of when we're broadcasting this. But I wanted to share something that happened I think 2 or 3 days ago now.
Hmm.
That's this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it hit me a little bit by surprise. I never fully got on Blab.
So
I
you
loved
want to
it.
share the news for anybody who doesn't know what we're looking at?
Yes, I'm gonna do that. And that is that basically Blab is no more. So if anybody was using Blab as your a way for you to grow your list, get your information out as to who you were, your business, they said goodbye.
So this is a platform that got really popular among marketers initially, and then among people who just wanted to hang out together. And while they clocked in 3.9 million users, there were only about 400,000 consistent users over the time that they were up and around. And as a result, it wasn't a sustainable business to cater to 400,000 people. And they actually have a long blog post here if you click the full story, to understand what their missteps were and why they decided to take the platform down. But the important thing is that this was, and other similar platforms like it are, great places to get your link out there and encourage people to join your email list or click on over to someplace else.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
you want to talk, because you do this. You want to talk a little bit about how this works in live streaming?
sure. So list building and live streaming is really simple. Basically, you're on having a live conversation. So you go to the platform. They give you your own space. It's absolutely free, which is great. All these things keep, the barrier between you and your customer, your prospective customer down. It allows for a very relaxed environment to basically have a conversation and interject who you are, what you do, and offer value. I'd say I use this platform to inspire and to educate,
Hmm.
to motivate, those kinds of things. And just like I would do in a blog post, I do about 80% just pure value,
Sure.
and 20%, and sometimes less, where I'm actually kind of making an offer for something. So, what struck me when I got the email or came up in my news feed, was the importance to have more than one channel, whether you're doing live streaming, whether you're blogging, whether you're doing Kindle, to have more than one channel of distribution of your content.
Hmm.
Because if one goes down, I mean, there was no warning to anybody. People who use Blab, you know, went there, and especially if they had all of their videos stored on Blab and didn't download it, I'm sure they've got some way where people can, retrieve their information. I think I read that they do.
Right.
But the importance of redundancy with your live streams, and repurposing them, using them other places in other ways, so that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. We don't own these platforms. The beautiful thing is we get to use them. We get to use them for free.
Hmm.
You get to use them as often as you want. So it's what better place to go and get your message out. And if a picture is 1,000 words, a live video is trillions. So the impact of that is huge.
Yeah.
So it's a great place to do that. But the important thing is not just to rely on Facebook Live, not just to rely on in this case Blab, um, and any of these other platforms, and to have your own space, somewhere, um, on the internet.
So give some examples of what that might mean.
Having your own space.
Hmm.
Well, it might mean having your own website. And it also could mean a space like 22 Social, which people have heard us talk about quite often, which is basically a mini website that is kind of embedded within Facebook. Um, let's see. I mean, you could have landing pages. If you could just have, I can't remember what they're called, but those software that build landing pages for you, so that you don't actually have to have a quote unquote website.
Sure. So
You can
just
just have landing pages that have offers that lead to whatever your products are.
Mhm.
So you could be using YouTube. The list goes on and on and on. But the idea is have more than one, and make sure they're all interconnected and leading to, you want a central hub of communication for sure.
Right.
I like using 22 Social, but you want to have many kind of tangential arms going out there communicating your message.
Hmm. So I was sitting here because we were going to talk about YouTube, and then I said, well, let's shift and talk a little bit about these live streaming platforms. And I was thinking, wait a second, I'm going to sneeze again. Wait a second. Let's come up with a third area where it's kind of unlikely that people are going to join your list, but they're actually really effective. And I thought, okay, let's go over and find a forum where people can share links in their signature file. So obviously, what's the forum that jumps to my mind immediately? Warrior Forum, which is an online marketing forum. And so I go over to Warrior Forum, and I cannot find an example of signatures with links in them. So there's probably some others out there, but I think Warrior Forum has actually gone through some changes, and maybe it's now against the rules, because I'm seeing absolutely zero when I used to see tons and tons of signatures. So anyway, that was just a quick aside because I was doing my recon to jump over to the next thing, and I'm not seeing it here. So
Ah.
so let's jump over to one more. If actually, why don't I share this so that people at least know what it is I'm talking about? You're
Mhm.
familiar with Warrior Forum, yes?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And I
So
don't know it deeply, so this will be
yeah.
really good.
All right. So let's. This is a pretty typical forum where somebody posts a thread on a certain subject. So in this case, the thread was, is there any potential downside to getting traffic from unknown this is actually interesting. Okay, because we're talking about traffic. And so there's
Mm.
people having a discussion on this particular topic. Now, historically, you used to be able to have a little area down at the bottom here under your comment. So you would contribute something great to the discussion, and then you would have a little area that had your particular promotion, right? Hey, by the way, guys, free download, go get this thing, right? So that's an
Mhm.
example of what people might be able to do on some forums, but apparently not here. Warrior Forum, and I'll just jump up here quickly. They've really redone this site. They were purchased a couple years back, and this site has really changed quite a bit recently. But okay, want to hire a cheap article writer? Here's what you get. And so I'm apparently like, here's an
Mm.
example of a cheap article. Yeah, so there's no links in here the way that I would have expected them to be in here historically. But this is a useful practice in some circles. Another circle, or which is sort of similar, is blog commenting, right? So instead of a forum, let's say you you have something relevant to share when you see a well trafficked blog post, right?
Mhm.
And maybe you say, hey, that's a great example of whatever it is they're talking about in the blog post. I have a slightly different perspective on this, and you can click here to check out what I have to say, right? Probably a little bit more useful than that, but if you are commenting and creating credibility for yourself by participating in other people's content, whether it's a personal blog, a business blog, a major publication, that going to Huffington Post or New York Times, and commenting and contributing to the conversation, and then including a link back to something of yours, right? So it gets traffic, and if your website is set up properly and you have an opt-in form that pops up or is embedded in the article that you're sending people to, you also have the opportunity potentially to attract some traffic as well.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I guess basically it comes down to anytime you are online. I really can't think of any, and you can correct me here, but any space online where you wouldn't be able to, if you've created it, should I say, where you wouldn't be able to, you know, provide a link back to your information. And I'm not talking about spamming situations. I'm talking about where
Yeah,
you're actually giving value. If you've created a landing page, if you have a YouTube channel, if you're on Twitter, all of those things, all of those spaces, we should be using those to grow our lists.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
a lot of times people are not thinking, oh, I wrote this article, and they don't think to put a link, you know, back to, or a link over to a landing page,
Mhm.
or just a simple lead capture form, on Aweber. It doesn't even have to, just a thank you and what have you.
Sure. So I'm running a blogging challenge right now in the DIY digital Facebook group, and
Mhm.
I'm seeing just this very thing happening where people are sharing examples of their blog posts, and
Yep.
we're talking in the training. Each day there's an email that goes out that sends them to a blog post where there's some hopefully helpful information for them, and some of the examples that people are posting are really great information. But once you get to the end of it, they don't tell you what to do next, right? So that's a perfect example of an opportunity that they can take advantage of to get someone to sign up for their list, or to click over to something else that they have to offer, or show them what their offer is in their business, etc. So things that you own
Yeah.
are absolutely prime opportunity for you to be building your list and generating more traffic to stuff, as you just said.
Yeah, I mean, you want to take every opportunity to build that relationship so that people can go dive deeper into, oh, who is David? Who is he? What is he about? And oh, let me go and look over here. Let me go and look over here. And the path you give them are these different links
Yeah.
where you're taking them to realize different parts of your business.
And we reveal things about ourselves in all of these pieces of content. Now people know for the first time online that I am a loud sneezer, right? That's
I
now
would have
people
never
know
known
that.
that. I would have never known that. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I think we probably covered some good ground here today. If people have questions, if people would like to get more info on what we've discussed, please share them in the comments below here. And if you have a topic that you'd like us to cover, let us know as well. If you are watching this inside the 22 Social app, there are links down below for to get in touch with Subira, to get in touch with me, as well as to learn more about the things that matter in our businesses, things like 22 Social, NAMS, and join our DIY Digital Facebook group as well. So I think we've pretty much covered a bunch of stuff. Anything you want to add before we sign off here?
Grow your list.
Great advice. Great advice. I'm actually teaching a workshop on list building and email marketing later this week, and that is the point that I'm going to be underscoring. So I'm glad you said it first.
There you go.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.